Joyride video. It is the week before Christmas 21 here in Wisconsin. So we're finally making the trip from the chrome shop in the middle of nowhere up to the Doing It diesel shop to go through the truck, clean it up, and give her a proper treat. Oh, let's shed some light on the subject. Looks empty in here. That is a ham band radio, so we only listen and receive on it. We got like 2.5% tint. Nighttime's not Joyride's brand. Now, step one, if you're going to put a truck up on lifts, you got to dump the bags or you'll hyperextend the suspension, blow bags out, and you could hurt or kill somebody. Very, very important. turning all 4 units on. The system's wireless and can be operated from any of the 4 points. Set the frequency. Accept the liability. We're using 4 of them in a normal mode. And this is lift position 1. Check our grids. I will preface, Challenger does recommend releasing the parking brakes once the truck's in the grids. I don't know that I'm totally on board with that, but this is not an instructional video, so do with that as you will. Okay, and we're ready to go up. When it comes time to park the units, it is important to pay attention to the clicks and make sure that you have all 4 of them on the same set before you park it. As you heard there. And while it's in the air, this is kind of a cool feature. We can estimate the weight on each of the 4 corners. So Joyride today weighs approximately 15,730 to 846 pounds, which is actually a little lighter than I thought it was originally. But so for safety's sake, we're going to go over here and we're going to park it. There you go. And just as proof, evidence, the weight goes to 0 because it's all sitting on the stops. Oh, let's go get a light. Oh look, broken Milwaukee batteries. That's very cool and nerve-wracking at the first time. Take your pride and joy and shove it 6 feet in the air when it weighs 15,000, 16,000 pounds. Ah, here we go. Our first trip out this summer with the detach. Got our Oshkosh on. We went to a truck show an hour and a half away. So there she is. Filth and all. And I'll power wash and steam under here. We'll get it looking like new again before we set this thing back down and go out. Touching on our VSS problem, you can see we have ourselves a single output cable activated. No space for a sensor, no tone ring, not even a place to adapt that in. So we could convert it over, but then we'd lose the speedometer. So we'll have to do something with that because I have a bigger transmission. I have a 16 torque transmission to go in this that needs its core needs to be rebuilt, and we'll end up going to an 18. Now everything looks pretty much as I left it. You know, people always talk about the AIRBOX strange, and that's pretty funny because if you don't idle them and you actually work them, they seal up and they don't shoot all over the place. That oil filter is another situation. I'm not sure what's up with that. It stayed pretty clean and dry. Now the fuel system, that was a point we wanted to touch on. We're running a fast. It's a low PSI lift pump. I think it's 16 PSI, and the reason for that is I've deleted the entire filter head setup. I've never liked the filtering setup on a factory 92 series and all the lines, and setting yourself up for heartache and disaster, and not even easy to work on. So we pulled all that off, got the fast on there, you know, filter that we stock, and they do work. No air in the fuel, anything like that. We are still running the original lift pump, the original gear pump off the front of the blower. And the thought behind that is with one of these, if one or the other fails, it'll still pull fuel and we won't be stranded. I designed and built everything I could to be as robust and fail-safe as possible, especially with a 2-cycle, because if we break down out on the road, there's not a real good likelihood of finding anyone or anything that stocks parts or even knows how to work on them, or, you know, they're few and far in the country anymore. As many of you know, it does, we circulate fuel. We got rid of the orifice as well off the front of the head to control fuel pressure. And if you know 2 cycles, they circulate a lot of fuel, and no matter what you do, it's going to get hot. But it hasn't been an issue as of yet. We're in the past, on the old engine, I was metering the return fuel, and we were running 100+ pounds. This engine, it's just enough to keep it going, about 15, I believe it is. And most of that we achieved through return line restriction. Okay, well, there it is. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more.